I'm making this a habit. You got to be kidding me, Yaya. I am doing it. We are going live all the time. I am going to just bypass everything that I've ever been told not to do, and I'm going to do it because it seems to work. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. We have a great show for you today. So we're going to be talking about ADD in teenagers and in childhood ADD and all the different things that people say you have ADD. I think I have a touch. Maybe I have a touch of ADD because I can't focus most of the time. And then when I can focus, it's only because it's written down or whatever. But it kind of follows us into our life. But we're going to talk about childhood, and we're going to talk to author Coach Al today. So I want to welcome him to the show. Welcome to the show, Coach. What's up?
Hey, hello. Yeah.
Hey, how are
Good to
you?
be here.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you. So tell me, why do you want to focus on ADD? I mean, what made you go into this?
I born with ADD, but when I
Mm.
was a kid, they don't say you have ADD. They said you are stupid, you cannot learn,
Oh my
you have a lot of
gosh.
problems in your mind. And then I started to suffer a lot. At the same time, I have a brother who suffered autism.
Mm.
Then he was totally lost. And then I started to think, why is the problem? Why have that kind of situation in my life? And then I started to study more about the mind until I find a mentor, a mentor called Zovek.
Mm.
This gentleman started to help me how to control my mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is the initiation I have. It changing my body because I was obese. I have the ADD, bad grades everywhere, troubles everywhere, and I don't feel accepted. I don't feel like uh, all the kids, all the people try to hang out with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was shy.
Mm, mm, mm. You know, it is something to actually be called stupid when you're really not.
Oh
You're
yeah.
really not. ADD children, how smart are they really?
Well, ADD doesn't have any connection with the smartness.
Mm,
Just the only problem we have is that all the five senses are connected all together at the same time with the same importance. And they
mm,
just mind seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, all at the same time.
mm,
It's hard to concentrate.
mm-hmm. I understand that completely. Maybe I was never diagnosed with ADD or whatever the case may be, but I definitely have it all. I can't focus on one thing. Wow. So it gets really hard too. I mean, since you've grown up into an adult, has it affected you, or have you been able to kind of control it and kind of understand what's really going on with yourself?
In the beginning, yes, affect me a lot, but I start to understand what happened. I start to exercise my mind, exercise my brain, and with habits and schedules, always you need to have a program running your mind, and you can handle that. You can manage the problem. My mind still has tons of ideas, and it's something worse than have no ideas is to have too many. This is
Mm-hmm.
the worst. But I start to understand. I start to understand. I start to put my attention in one thing, and then get results.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, it's hard to put your mind on one thing. I know that because, I have a bunch of things I have to do. And then I find myself going, I wonder if I do this now. And then I go over to another room. I'm like, oh man, I got to finish that. And it's just like, maybe I do have, maybe I don't, I don't know. But it's super hard to really focus on one thing. So tell me about your specialty. I know you've written many, many books, and we have that ticker going on underneath the bottom of the screen so that you can see how many books Coach Al has written. But tell me something, tell me about teenage ADD, and why should we classify it as stupid, but why should we classify it as, I mean, I'm going to say this. I believe that ADD children are super smart. I really do. I just think that we're just not focused.
Actually, it's true. In the moment the kids has a lot of smartness, they have more interest in different things. The term ADD is attention deficit disorder, but actually it's not that the problem, because if you see them when they watch the TV or they are in the games, they
Mm-hmm.
can stay per hours with no
Yeah.
blinking, with no hearing you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's extremely attention into one thing, the thing of their interest. Major factors work right here. Those kids who has ADHD or ADD, they are
Mm-hmm.
very smart, and they have too many ideas at the same time. And when they concentrate on one thing they love, is when they start to put attention. And
Mm-hmm.
just imagine when the parents give tablets, give all that kind of devices, and they start to work in that effects the computers has, and they go to see the teacher, and the teacher is just talking. They're bored. They're thinking too many things at the same time. And
Mm-hmm.
they said, why do you need to put attention to the teacher? She's bored.
Mm. Yeah. I got bored a lot.
I'm not. I I have a very creative mind,
Hmm.
and I don't know what is being bored. I have no idea what is that.
Well, I mean, when you're sitting down in a classroom and they really want you to focus and you've done everything already, you get bored. I got bored really
Well,
super fast. Really. Yeah, I did everything and I was like, okay, next. Can you move faster? Yeah, I can't sit here that long. Hurry up.
yeah, sometimes I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
when I start to discover how the mind works, I start to write something, because I was a very romantic guy when I was a kid,
okay.
and all my ex girlfriends or something like that, they have always letters from me.
Mm.
And they said, "Oh, I keep it for the rest of my life." I said, "Well, thanks so much. I love to write, but my original language is in Spanish, because all my family's from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And then just imagine for me to think in English.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little bit hard.
I
But
know.
that helped me to control my ADHD.
Mm, mm, mm. So
And one
tell
of
me,
the,
so,
yes,
tell me about your website. You do have a website. I have it up above, and tell me about the books that you've written because I mean, this is, I mean, literally, this is something that you've really dedicated your life to.
totally. I've been gymnastics coach for several decades. Yeah, I coach gymnastics at the elite level, and I competed gymnastics too. In
Mm,
'79 was my last meet in the World Championships, and I was not as good as they are now, but I was start to think how to make the people understand how to control the mind. And I discovered one thing with gymnastics. Every movement you do, you need to create a neural pathways in your brain. It's called synapses. And the moment you create that synapses, it's already recorded. As stronger it is, more easy you do that movement.
mm-hmm,
And then I create this for people to study.
mm-hmm.
You need to create a lot of synapses with exercises. I create a system called neurogymnastics. It's 300 exercises.
Mm,
You repeat it one every day until you get 5 exercises, and then you do a routine, and you start
right.
to create neural pathways in your brain that help to control your attention, to control everything what you're doing in your life.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. So the books, what should people start with? Okay, because you, like I said, you have different things, and then you're on Kelbrin wellness.com, and you learn how to manage stress, addictions, limited beliefs, and things like that. But what should people start with? I mean, someone just got diagnosed with ADD. What should they do?
Number one is because when they get the diagnostic, they start to feel like they are handicapped or they are different than the others, and they start to say to the other people, deal with that. I'm
Mm,
acting like that because I'm ADD. The number one, they start to get discipline. They
mm-hmm,
start to get into the discipline world, because they get in anxious very easy,
mm-hmm,
depressed very easy, angry very easy.
mm-hmm,
And when you go to the website, what you found is a program for kids with ADD, or or teenagers with ADD,
Mm-hmm.
and they go in a process. I don't let them see the whole program. They need to go
Mm.
step by step, step by step. The difference between other programs is because in my program, you need to do 10 minutes every day,
Okay.
every single day before you go to sleep. The kids, when they go to sleep, they don't have habits. They sleep when they fall off
Mm-hmm.
of tiring. And in my program, they need to go to sleep exactly close to the same time. They need
Wow.
to have habits. And then they need to write the quantum books. The quantum books is a special book to change the subconscious mind. They need to listen to a recording according with the week they are. And after that, they go to sleep. The first week is hard. They cannot sleep because they have a lot of ideas in their mind. They want to go to the text, to the a lot of things. But later, they start to hear the music and they go right away to sleep. And it's when the brain starts to work good. The other
Mm.
aspect is the nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
The nutrition is very important for every single human being.
Yes.
All what the brain is working for is according with the bacteria you have in your guts.
Mm-hmm.
Those bacteria is the microbiome. The microbiome dictates who you are, what personality you have, what desires you have, and how lazy or how active you are. Just the bacteria. It's not your education, it's not nothing else. It's the
Mm-hmm.
bacteria you have in your stomach.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
just imagine.
Mm-hmm.
If you change that, what can happen? The kid change their personality, their habits, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nutrition is so important that you cannot imagine how different is that.
Wow. Wow. You know, I have to go back because the brain, you have two brains. They've just noticed this. They've, well, not just noticed, but I mean, they've been talking about this for a minute where you have two brains. You do have your regular brain up in here, but your gut, like when you say, oh man, I feel it in my gut, you know what I mean? It is
Yeah,
true. You do feel it in your gut. And to keep that clean and to keep that filtered and your gut filtered, your stomach, I mean, all of that, it feeds into your decision making. It also feeds into how you operate that day. I mean, I heard that you only have a few decisions before everything starts to go downhill anyway. So starting off on a good starting off on a good note is important to say the least. So tell me about your books. I have your books here and I want to go ahead and put this through. You have the mentality of the competitive athlete,
that was my
personality.
first one. That's
Okay.
my first one when I
That's
was
your first one?
25 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that was my
Wow.
first one. Because
That's
I got to see
wonderful.
the why some people win and the other people don't win having more talent. And then
Mm,
I started to write about that because it's all in the
wow.
mind. You was
Wow.
mentioning about the two minds. Actually, we have three minds.
Mm,
Is the one we have here, the
mm-hmm,
heart, and the
mm.
guts. The
Okay.
heart is sending messages to the brain all the
Mm,
time because the heart is the emotions.
mm.
The feelings are in the guts. That's why when you feel anxious or you go to see a person you hate, you
Mm.
start to feel in the stomach, knowing the brain,
Yeah.
knowing the heart.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Wow, wow. So I mean, you started very young, so you didn't have a choice. It was just like, this is it. This is what it
Actually,
is.
not.
That's wonderful. So then you have your second one, personality and identity. Personality or identity, right?
Yes, personalities is very important because we have two personalities always rolling
Mm-hmm.
yeah, between them. One is the core personality, and the other is the covert personality. Everybody see about us the covert personality is what we says we are. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gymnastics coach. I'm psychologist. I'm this one. But the core personality is all the paradigm of programs you have internally, how you respond to the stimulus you get into the life.
Mm-hmm.
And then inside all those two, we have another two subdivisions is the blue personality and the red personality. The
Mm.
blue personality is when you are very shy, very introvert, and the red personality is when you're extrovert, you're strong, you're dominant, and everyone has different needs and different priorities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Both personalities are working internally in our mind. And one is dominant. It doesn't mean you are or red or blue. No, one is dominant according with the circumstances you are living. Because some people is very dominant family, they go with the boss and they change personality to the blue because the boss has priorities and he's stronger than him. Personalize a lot.
Wow, definitely, definitely. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell me about your next book, The Theory, New Theory of the Mind.
Well, it's explain all what I started to explain to you, the three brains, the all different combinations of personalities and how we can uh, control that. The it's another book I start to write. It's about illness doesn't kill you, your mind does, because no illness can kill you, because in the moment you get sick are only for three reasons: for contamination, for deficiency, or because your mind is weak. It's the only way. And then if your mind is strong, I visited the doctor in my life three times. Three times. The second time
Wow.
was because I have cancer and I don't know how to fix it. They don't know either. And then I start to work with my mind because when I was in Russia, I hear a seminar. It was a lady called Ina. She started to talk about the cancer. Then she get into the surgery, and she says, in the moment they open, because they said there's no big deal, just we cut the guts, and then she will be fine. But they opened, she was all in vein of cancer. They saw her back, and they said we cannot do nothing. And the daughter says, "Can you please lie to my mom and says that you heal her because she's in the injured, she's in the sewing." And the doctor says, "Well, ultimately, well, no problem." And they said, "You're good, Ina. Go home." They give the morphine and all the medications for the few days she has left. She go home. Later, the doctor says, "What happened with Ina?" They sent a nurse to see her, and she opened the door. And they
Hmm.
said, "Ina, are you okay?" "Yes, the doctors cured me." And
Hmm.
in that moment, they start to find out that the mind is stronger than any sickness you have in
Yeah,
your life. When I get
definitely.
the cancer, I said, "Who can lie to me that I can believe them?" Now I know the truth. Somebody need to lie to me. Nobody needs to lie to me. You need to be grateful.
Hmm.
You need to be happy for what you live, for what you have. And in that moment, guess what? You reset your brain, you reset everything, and the body found the best way to heal.
Hmm. Yes, definitely. I totally believe that 100%. I mean, I tell people you have to stay positive. You have to stay positive. Always believe the good and don't believe the bad. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's like when it's your turn, it's your turn. But you should always fight. You should just always fight. Always
Well,
fight and always put forth your thankfulness. Always put forth your good foot and live your life the best way possible. Definitely. Wow. Wow.
there's very big difference between be positive and be certain.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. You're
being
right.
positive, your subconscious mind says you're lying. You're lying. You try to tell me that everything is good, but you internally you're suffering. That's
Mm.
why is that's why I am the paradigm technician. I fix that internally, not the conscious level, at the subconscious level. And the
Wow.
moment we switch all the interpretations who make you suffer, we reframe that interpretations, and then you don't start to suffer the same things over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Usually people suffer for what happened when they was 3 or 4 or 5 years old, and they are 50 and they're still suffering for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. My gosh. You're true. You're truly right. I guess I got the wrong word there. I got the wrong, but to be certain that everything is positive.
No, the certainty make the positive thing,
Right.
because it, it's an internal level.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you can not pray to have two hands. You already have two hands.
Mm-hmm.
And then you are certain you have two hands.
Right.
And then you don't need to worry or be positive about two hands.
Mm.
And
That's
then
right.
it's a little bit confusing because people think if I repeat and repeat the same thing, I will get it.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true, but you need to do too many repetitions over years in order to get it.
Mm.
If that makes you happy, yes, keep going with that. But
Right.
it's how fast you get a trauma. In seconds, you get a trauma.
Right.
The same in seconds, a trauma need to leave.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, what you're saying today is something that we all need to grab a hold of. And you do have one more book we didn't mention. It's Quantum Books, right?
Yes,
Tell me about that.
that's the most amazing thing I ever did. Because in the moment your subconscious mind process information internally has no words. Your conscious mind has the words, but not the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind only has symbols, colors, and codes. How you can change the subconscious mind with words? The subconscious mind has no words. And then I create this workbook. It's Quantum Books. It's like a bank account for the subconscious mind. And
Mm.
then use the symbols, use the colors, and use everything what the subconscious might understand. And it's exactly before you go to sleep. In
Mm.
that moment, I guarantee you, in less than a month, your life change. You will see right away how your life change. If you
Mm.
do every night, every night, every night.
Yeah. So the key is to do it right when you're getting ready to go to sleep, or is it during
Yes,
sleep? I mean, explain
right
that to
before you
me.
sleep.
Okay. Why?
Because in the brain, when you go to sleep, you start to like a file every movement, every thought you have during the day, and clean up all the garbage you have to. And then when you go to sleep, you have the last 90 minutes before you go to sleep are the most strong into the subconscious mind. If you start to work your quantum books before you go to sleep, your conscious mind start to think just about that, about that, about that. It's just about the problems, the problems, the problems.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
It's
Wow.
very interesting because a lot of people don't believe it because I'm warning them when you start your quantum books, don't stop because then
Mm-hmm.
they will come worse. Because all the internal problems you have is like when you get sick and you get antibiotics. What happens if you stop when you start to feel good? You get
Right.
worse sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
The brain is the same. The mind is the same. You
Mm.
start to work. You start to do you process. You start to see love. You start to see activities you are doing to achieve a goal. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing eh, people don't understand is this one. They don't want to have certain problems, but the only way to avoid those problems if is if they have a goal, they have an outcome. That's the process inside the quantum books. You need to have a goal. The subconscious mind is to serve you. If the subconscious mind has the wrong instructions, they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, give me $1 million. What happened if the genie, who is the subconscious mind, said, like a genie, the genie give you the $1 million, but in $1 bills in your car, you
Mm.
get trolls. Everybody tries to steal you. The IRS will follow you. You get real troubles. You need to give specific uh, direction to the subconscious mind to serve you, and
Mm.
not multiple activities, only one, and concentrate on that one. When you finish, you can give another one. If you
Mm.
finish, you can give another one. Usually,
Mm.
people, I want this one, I want that one, I want that one, and I don't want to have problems with my husband or with my wife. The subconscious mind cannot process negatives. It
Mm.
just says, if something negative, Guess what happened? If I tell you, don't think in a black cat, the first thing come to your mind is a black cat. Because you need
Yeah.
to understand what I said and then do the order. The subconscious mind is the same. You need to identify what is in it, and then they follow the order. I don't want to have problems with my wife, with my husband. Guess what happened? You have problems. You say to the kid, don't break the glass. The first thing you hear, back, the glass broken. Why? Because the subconscious mind here, break the glass.
Wow. Wow. So there's a lot that we
It's a
need to
lot.
work on. We need to work on a lot. So
Yes.
we can definitely go to that website, and can we see all of your books there and probably purchase them if we are interested in that?
Yes. This website is for the programs, and then
Okay.
you get the workbooks in each program.
Okay.
Number one is the ADD, because I suffer that. The other program I have very, very successful is the stress control, the
Mm,
stress management, because everybody gets so stressed and they think it's the life they have, but it's not the life they have. It's the interpretation about the life they have.
mm.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The interpretation of your life is wrong. That's interesting. I like that. We're going to, yeah. Well, you're going to have to, wow. Yeah, that's a big one right there. I mean, I never really thought about it. I mean, just stressful life, it's not really, doesn't have to really be stressful if you interpret it differently.
Yes, because imagine you go out of the studio you are right now and you find a lion right there. What will be your reaction? Your interpretation will be, oh, dangerous. You will start to scream.
Interpretation would be come back inside
But
and
what
close the
happened
door.
if a man who is dominator in the circus with lions and bears and all that kind of things go out and he's seeing the lion? Oh, it's my best opportunity to control this lion.
That's
Different
true.
interpretation.
Yeah,
I couldn't
you're
with your
right.
kids.
Man, yeah, because he has the skills to tame that lion, and I have the skills
Exactly.
to run.
And then what we need to change? Skill.
Yeah, skills. Hmm.
Very
Wow.
good. Yes, and that's why it's important for people to have more skills at the physical level and the mental level.
Mm. Wow. Well, Coach, my goodness, you've given us a plethora of things to think about today. I'm telling you what, you know, I got to work on my gut and my
Yes,
interpretation and all kinds of different things. And I want to thank you so much for being on the show. This has been such a wonderful, wonderful, talk today that we've had. I
thank you,
appreciate.
Naya.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dream Chasers Radio. And, don't forget to go ahead and stop by that website. It's right there. You see that up there? It's right up there. And check it out. You just never know. You might just, need to get a different interpretation and learn all of the things that
Yes,
has already implemented since he started writing, which was at the age of 5.
I
Wow.
thought to nobody understand that book, but I write it.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing, Coach. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Don't you go anywhere, Coach. We're going to stay on, and I'm going to talk to you after the show. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dream Chasers Radio. And if you're watching us, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, share it with other people, and definitely, always dare to be different. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. And I have a lot of reprogramming to do. I mean, my life and the interpretation of it has to change. Definitely does. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
I did to be different. I did.